Welcome, and thank you for joining us for Part 3 of CDW Healthcare's podcast series on mobility management, where we've covered special considerations for mobility management and trends impacting healthcare. Today's segment focuses on putting mobility management to work, technology tips, and best practices. And joining us once again for this discussion are Vincent Vitali, the CIO of Rabida Hospital, David Wright, an account executive for healthcare at AirWatch, and Stephanie Sult, mobility solution architect at CDW Healthcare. And David, today we're going to begin with you. When choosing mobile management technology, what would you say are the top things that we need to consider?
Well, I think there are a lot of considerations here when evaluating and selecting a technology. One of the most important, I feel, is scalability. So, is this solution going to be able to address what is only going to be a growing deployment of mobile devices? We see that within the next 2 to 3 years, the average user is going to have more than 3 or so devices. So, scalability, for one, is very important. Also, how is the solution deployed? Is this available in the cloud? Is it available on premise? Perhaps the organization has a policy where they don't do anything in the cloud. They need to make sure that technology is able to be hosted in the manner that suits their need. Another important consideration is that technology's ability to tie in with back-end systems. There's no point in reinventing the wheel. You've got directory services, you've probably got PKI infrastructure, email. That you need to choose a technology that's going to be able to hook into those systems so you're able to truly provide the most productive device experience for your end users.
So then, what are the different ways of successfully deploying a mobility management solution? Stephanie, do you want to take a stab at this?
So there's definitely a few different ways you can deploy an MDM. When you're deploying it, you need to realize that it does involve an MDM server. So you need to take into the fact that you can either host it on premise or you can have the actual MDM provider host it for you. So a couple different recommendations for both. If it's something that you think that you'd be easily managed on premise, if you have room to virtualize it, you can definitely host it on premise. Or if you think this is something that you want to have the MDM provider host for you and manage all the updates to that server, that would be something that you want to do in the cloud.
Okay. Vincent, anything to add from your perspective?
Well, to deploy a mobility management solution, you have to do a lot of analysis up front. I think we have to understand the requirements, number one, of our specific environment. I think every environment is going to be slightly different. So I think it's really important for someone to understand what's driving the mobile device management platform in their own organization. Is it the number of different devices? Is it the kind of devices? Is it the kind of data they need to access? Is it the kind of access that people need? So, I think we first and foremost need to understand what the requirements are before we can go out and look at technology. Once you have a good handle on that, I think then you can start to match some of the different vendor capabilities and some of the different product capabilities to those requirements.
Okay, well, given all of these considerations that have to be taken into account, what would you say are the best practices in actually using a mobile management technology? And David, how about we toss this one to you?
One of the best practices when using an MDM technology like this is to implement privacy policies. We've got users bringing in devices from home that have a lot of personal information on them. You know, it could be something like an application that's keeping track of disability or some ailment that they might have. We can also do GPS tracking on these devices. Now, if it's a device that the user's brought in from home, there's really no need to be tracking that user. So, really big best practice is to implement privacy policies that are going to prevent us from viewing that type of personal information based on who owns the device. Maybe we do want to grab that information if it's a device that we've provided the end user, but being able to prevent accessing that data based on device ownership is critical when it comes to rolling out a solution like this.
Stephanie, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, definitely. David makes a great point there about privacy on a personal device, because there definitely is a stigma when it comes to using an MDM software on a personal device. But I think what some end users should take away is the fact that, you know, your IT directors can't see personal information such as personal text messages, personal emails, even the personal information that's in their own applications they use.
Great information, David and Stephanie. Thank you both. And one last question, given what we've covered so far, Vincent, what qualities should one look for when choosing a mobile management technology partner?
Well, mobility device management is a fairly new technology, so there's a lot of new vendors and a lot of startups in this space. So I think you want to look for a vendor that's got experience in this space, that's evolved from day one with some of the challenges that have been presented with mobile device management. Somebody that integrates well with your current infrastructure, it would be another point. And also a vendor that can evolve with you in the future, one that can grow with you in the future. So a stable vendor with a good track record.
Stephanie, do you agree?
Yeah, I think Vincent's absolutely correct. You want to find a partner that's able to build a customized solution for you. You want to look for a partner that's dedicated to healthcare, that understands the industry and understands what other health systems are doing. So going off that and being able to build that solution for you is key. Also, something very important and key to healthcare is having that healthcare vertical within that partner and having someone that works with hospitals and health systems on a daily basis and understands what their needs are, and then that can bring that to the table when having a conversation with another customer.
Well, that's all the time we have for today to talk about putting mobility management to work for you. Thank you to our speakers for joining us, and thank you, audience, for tuning in. Please be sure to check out the other podcasts in this series. You can listen to them individually or all at once to get the full effect of our mobility management discussion. Have a good day and log on to cdw.com/view for industry updates and to access this podcast series.